Hello, this is Thomas, and today we will be making Brookies. These are really yummy, and they're called Brookies because they're a combination of brownies and cookies. And today we will learn how to make them. To start, you're going to preheat your oven to 350, and then you're going to take a 9 by 13 inch pan and put a sheet of parchment paper in it. Now, I like to make the brownies and the cookies at the same time, but you can do them separately if you want. So for the brownies, you're going to take 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 stick of butter. And then for the cookies, you're going to take 1 cup of brown sugar and 6 tablespoons of butter. Now you're going to turn both of these onto medium heat. And now you're just going to let these melt together. You can stir them around a bit, but you don't have to be constantly stirring. So I will be back when it's melted to show you what texture. Okay, so I'm getting closer, and I've just been whisking both of them around a little bit just so the butter doesn't brown at all. But you don't have to be constantly stirring. So the cookie part with the brown sugar, there's just a bit of butter that hasn't melted yet, so that one's almost done. And then the brownie part is still melting. Okay, so now these are both done, and now you're just going to whisk it really vigorously until it's all combined. Now you're just going to let these cool a bit so that it'll be cool enough until you can add the eggs. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, once these are fully cool, you're going to add 2 eggs into each of them. And then you're just going to whisk that in. Now you're going to add 2 teaspoons to the cookie mixture and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla to the brownie mixture. And then you're just going to whisk that in as well. Now for your brownies, you're going to take a bowl with 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder and add in 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And then you can just stir that around. And then add that into your brownie mixture. Now for your cookie mixture, you're going to take 1¼ cups of flour and add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then you can just mix that around. And then you can add that to your cookie mixture. Now for your cookies, you're going to switch from your whisk to a spatula and add in 3/4 of a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Once you're done with all that, now you can take your pan and your 2 batters, and you can either scoop the dough into here from each of these and then like twirl it around so it creates an interesting pattern. I'll put a picture so that you can see what that looks like. But I think it's better and easier and looks and tastes just as good to just do 1 layer on the bottom, 1 on top. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to put the brownie layer on the bottom and the cookie layer on the top. Okay, so unfortunately I put my chocolate chips in my cookie layer when it was still a bit too warm, and I should have checked that. So they melted a little bit, and you can see there are some streaks of chocolate, but it's still going to taste good, and it still is going to look good as well. But now you're going to take another 1/2 cup of chocolate chips and just sprinkle this on top of your dessert. Now you're going to put this in the oven for 20 to 22 minutes, so I will be back to take them. When your brookies are done, you can take them out of the oven. Now you should let these cool for at least 45 minutes, but since it's already pretty late, I'm just probably going to let them cool overnight and be back tomorrow morning, and then I will eat one. So I will see you then. Goodbye for now. Once you have let your dessert cool fully, you can take a not very sharp knife and just go around the edges of it to get it out. Now you can just pull it out. Now you can cut this into however many bars you want. Okay, so I cut it into 24 bars, but now it is time to eat them. So you can see there's a cookie layer on top, and then I have a brownie layer on the bottom. You could have done that the other way also. These are super yummy, especially once they're cool. They're also good when they're warm, but not quite as good. I think they're better once they've cooled a bit. So you should make them because they're very yummy and they don't take too much time to make. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.